half an hour hair and makeup done, which doesn't always happen. So I figured I would do an impromptu live and let you know the major theme that has come up in all of my clients this week. And so I want to give you some tips and also just share, and hopefully it helps you. Happy Friday. So the biggest thing that has come up, it could be the season, it could be the time of year and or people's goals and reevaluating now that we're moving into fall and we have only 3 months left of 2023. People are really starting to bump up against different resistance. And I have to speak about today the unknown. So we're going to be talking about why the unknown and why leaning into the unknown is important and why it is actually correlated to your success, and how to actually lean into the unknown, why it's important, and how it is important for you to develop your strategy that is perfect for you, executing your strategy, and then actually finding success. So let's chat about this concept of leaning into the unknown. It is so important because as an entrepreneur or as you go out there and achieve your goals, whatever it is, personal or professional, you are going to feel discomfort. It is going to feel uncomfortable. You are going to have fear that comes up. In order for you to differentiate between fear and your intuition, and for you to be able to still get clarity, even when you feel fear, and this breaks down to a chemical response. When you have fear going through your body, you have many different chemicals that actually impact your ability to think clearly and make decisions in the process. So it is so important for you to be able to manage this fear. It doesn't mean that you don't ever have fear. Leading into the unknown is something that I continue to lean into every single month. The more you expand, the more your business expands, the more fear, doubt, and unknown that is going to happen. So you're going to have to get really comfortable with not knowing. So what does this mean? As you have fear that comes up in your business, in your life, your brain sends a signal to yourself, this like alarm, stop, don't go there. And then it starts a lot of confusion and frustration. And then your brain tries to figure it out. It tries to figure out, how is this going to happen? What strategy do we need? What are our next best steps? But the place that you take action from this place, when you are not comfortable with the unknown, your action comes from a place of fear, control, lack, doing. Like, I have to do this because I am scared of whatever, maybe not making enough money, maybe what people think of me. And so your ability to make the best next step for you comes from you being able to lean into the unknown. Do you see that? Because if you create your strategy from a place of fear, maybe it will work temporarily, but long-term, it's not going to work. So my main goal for you, before you even create your next decision, your next strategy, I need you to lean into the unknown and not try to figure everything out, but take your next best step. What this means is, for you to actually lean into the unknown, you have to be okay with not knowing what the end is going to look like. You have to be okay with not knowing what tomorrow is going to look like, what next week is going to look like, what next year is going to look like. Yes, you can have your vision. Yes, you can have your goals and dreams, but there has to be space and there has to be trust for you to allow the magic to come in. Because when we try to control everything and we try to make everything the way that we want it to, maybe it happens, but what if your life could be so much better? And so I see so many of my clients where they have this fear of the unknown, whether it's in creating their strategy, they don't know their next step, and they get really scared to lean into the unknown. But leaning into the unknown and just sitting with yourself and asking yourself, what is my next step? Where do I go from here? What feels good, from a place of complete alignment and not fear? You are able to build a strategy that is so much better when you come from this place of trust and confidence. I want you to think about all the things in your life that you have never had to figure out and ended up perfect. Think about your how you were built in your mother's womb. You never had to figure out how you were going to build your body. You never had to figure out how to breathe. You never had to figure out how to digest food. It just happened. And so many things in nature also have this. You have this innate ability to trust, but somewhere along the way, you forgot to trust because you started to think, if I take control here, it's going to end up better. So if you take nothing from this mini impromptu live, I want you to think about that it is okay for you not to know. And there is something so beautiful when you start to trust the process, trust yourself, trust the unknown, and just keep taking your next step and be okay with not knowing. When somebody asks you, how are you going to make that happen? It's okay to say, I'm not quite sure. These are the steps I am taking, but I'm not really sure how I'm going to get there. And one of my clients had a perfect example this month. We have been working together for a while, and she has been continuing to take her next step. There has been a lot of doubt and a lot of uncertainty throughout the process, and she didn't know how she was going to get there. She didn't know how she was going to sell out her programs. But she got this inspiration and this invite to collaborate with someone. She collaborated with that person. At that event, she met someone who brought her into her organization and introduced her to all these people. And now all of her programs are sold out. Her one-on-one, her group programs are all full. And she could never have planned that. She can never have planned, I have to meet this one person. I have to get them to introduce me. There is so much magic in the world that you are missing because you do not trust yourself, because you cannot lean into the unknown. So this comes into every place of your life. The unknown, think about when we enter into relationships and you start dating and everyone keeps asking you, oh, is he or she the one? Are they the one? Are you going to marry them? Are you going to see them again? And we try to figure it out when there is so much unknown. It's okay to just say, I'm not sure. I'm just going to keep taking my next best step. I'm going to keep following my gut, and we'll go from there. Start being comfortable in saying, I don't know. I'm not sure. Holding that space and trusting yourself. Trust yourself in the unknown before you create your strategy, before you execute your strategy, before you start showing up every single day in your morning meditations, in your evening journal. Ask yourself, how can I lean into the unknown today? What am I trying to figure out that I don't actually have to figure out? What do I want to allow magic into so that I can allow this to unfold better than I ever could have? And just a reminder that this is a daily practice, leaning into the unknown and trusting yourself. But it is so freeing and will allow you to have so much more ease. It will allow you to become someone who attracts everything you need instead of forcing it and making it happen. You don't have to make it all happen, and you don't have to push, and you don't have to force it. You don't have to figure it out and have your entire strategy figured out. All you have to do is know your next step and feel really good in the process and trust yourself. So I hope this helps someone. I'm not sure who this is for, but I knew I needed to share it. And so keep leaning into that unknown. Keep trusting yourself. And if you need any support, I am totally here for you to bounce ideas off of. But I just want to remind you to tune in and just know that like you have that trust. And maybe you need someone to guide you through that process. Totally great. But just trust yourself. And know that when you lean into the unknown, everything is so much greater. So I love you. I hope you have a beautiful day. I better get off and get ready for my interview now, but I am just sending you so much love, and I will chat with you soon.